The Vandy women's team are set to make a run in the NCAA tournament. Up first, Sweet 16 against Notre Dame.
You are Locked On Vandy, your daily podcast on the Vanderbilt Commodores. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, everybody? I'm Corey Burton, and today we got an interesting show. The women's team, they're in prime position to make a run to the Sweet 16. So we're gonna start there. They play the Irish, and Mark Byington, is he gonna go to UNC? They fired Hubert Davis. He's the odds-on favorite. We'll talk about that later, but we're gonna start with the Vandy women's team. They're still alive in March Madness in the women's bracket. They're on a crash course to face off against the UConn Huskies, hopefully in the regional final. But up first is the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. And for this women's team, you know, what I want to talk about before I get into this matchup is I think a lot of people are disillusioned in thinking that Vanderbilt's women's team is just one player, Mikayla Blakes, which she's a hell of a player. She's a great player. Nationally, I've been pounding the table saying she should be player of the year for what she's accomplished. She's broken the all-time scoring record for Vandy women's basketball. She has the single season record for number of 30-point games, and she is accomplishing all kinds of stuff. She was SEC player of the year. I mean, she is a special player for this team and for Shea Ralph. And what I really like about this team is just kind of how well connected they are. Aubrey Galvan has been incredible as well. She was freshman of the year. She's kind of the other piece there. And if you really – and this team just – they play so well connected no matter which five are on the floor. Justine Pissot as well is really good. And they just – like I said, they just play really good team basketball. And – they get into some of these tough games, and they're built for it. They're clutch. They play hard. They fight you. They're a scrappy team, and they're extremely talented team as well. I mean, it's the game against Illinois proved that they're not just a front running team. They proved that they're not just a one player show in Mikayla Blakes. They prove that they have other people that contribute. I mean, they had a 12-0 run or 12-2 run against Illinois that got them in good shape. They had some looks behind the arc. Mikayla Blakes, Aubrey Galvan, Justine Pissot were three players that really contributed down the stretch there. And this team is special. I feel genuinely like they're going to make a deep run, and a lot of it's defense. They are very physical. They're on you. They hold teams under 30% shooting from both behind the arc and from the field. They block shots left and right. Aliana Mitchell is one of them. She had four blocks coming off the bench. They forced 16 turnovers. They translated that into 17 points against Illinois. And they do that, and that's why their record is what it is. And there's some special teams out there. All the number one seeds are all special teams. UConn, South Carolina, Texas, and I forget who the other one was. But it's about this team and defensively, and they score too. And I can't reiterate enough, like Mikayla Blakes goes for 25 points. Justine Pissot puts up 18 points. Galvan has 12. And they all contribute, and they all absolutely elevate this team. And that's why they're so dangerous, because they can hit you from different angles. And that's why I think this team is going to make a run. I think this team can, they can – come together. Like I said, the biggest thing is they play well connected, and I enjoy watching this team play just because how hard they play, how physical they play on the defensive end of the floor. Like a lot of teams take that for granted. They don't. They pride themselves in that. 16 turnovers. That's what they do. They force you to make mistakes. They lock you down. They force you into bad shots, and then they capitalize off of it. And Mikayla Blakes is a special, special player. She gets it going. And it's like the men's team. It mirrors the men's team as far as like you have Mikayla Blakes. The men's team has Tyler Tanner, Aubrey Galvan, Duke Miles. And then you have Justine Pissot, Tyler Nickel. And then you have your shot blockers. You have your forwards. You have some of your other contributors and then the rest of the team just kind of funnels into that. And you have a really good 1-2-3 punch there. And that's what's going to make this team tough to beat. Now, UConn is good. They're a 1 seed for a reason. South Carolina is a monster for a reason. But Vanderbilt can hang in with them. And Vanderbilt is plenty talented enough, well coached enough, connected enough to do that. And it's something that they're starting to shift the culture, right? The culture shifted in football. The culture shifted in men's basketball. Hopefully the culture will shift in baseball, and it's shifting in women's basketball. Like the standard is rising. The floor is rising, which is going to raise the ceiling as well. And it's good. It's good. They're a team that now used to be kind of a doormat. Used to be one of those teams, they were middle of the pack, doormat. They would always go to Tennessee and lose. And because Tennessee's women have been elite for quite some time. And so now Vanderbilt not only has closed that gap, but they might be flipping that storyline. And Shea Ralph she's the main piece around it. She's recruited extremely well. And I think they've got some other recruits coming in. Shea Ralph played at UConn. And so she knows she's kind of taken some notes there from Gino, and this team's special. So, what does that mean against Notre Dame? Well, what that means against Notre Dame is this: Hannah Hidalgo for Notre Dame. She's defensively, she's really, really good. Notre Dame is kind of a perennial. They're an Elite Eight team. They're a special team. They're an elite team. This is a great matchup for the women. If they can get through Notre Dame, I think they have a legit shot at beating UConn and getting to the Final Four. And then awaiting them in the Final Four, unless there's a major, major upset, is South Carolina. So, Hidalgo had 16 steals in a game. She's great defensively. She is on it. She's athletic. She will probably draw the matchup of Mikayla Blakes or Aubrey Galvan. I'm not sure exactly how they're gonna match that up, or if they're gonna play zone or whatever. But this is going to be something. This is going to be something that's going to be exciting. Galvan's got her work cut out for her if she's the one that draws the assignment. Because Hidalgo's an All-American, and that's going to be if Notre Dame can get their game through Hidalgo, if she's allowed to kind of run around, if she's allowed to score, and the other girls get, there, I think it's going to be trouble. But man, this is going to be a really good test. This is going to be a really exciting game for our Lady Commodores. So I'm really excited about that. Notre Dame they're red hot, man. They've won 11 of their last 13 coming into the tournament. This is their 5th time in a row they've been in the Sweet 16. They've never reached the Elite Eight. Head coach Ivy for Notre Dame has not yet gone to a regional final. Vanessa De Jesus also is one of their leading scorers. Ayanna Moore and KK Bransford. Also, they're all averaging double-digit point-wise. So this is going to be, like I said, an elite matchup. 2 great defensive teams, 2 phenomenal players with Mikayla Blakes and Hannah Hidalgo. You have others out there, Aubrey Galvan, Justine Pissot, and then you have the 3 I just named for Notre Dame. It's going to be a great matchup, right? Both teams play extremely good defense. This game's Friday afternoon, so, man, again, exciting times for the women's team. This is going to be the game to watch. This is going to be, okay, are we going to take this to the regional final? What's going to happen here? Friday's going to be a big, big day for Vanderbilt athletics. So there's not going to be anything else going on. It's an afternoon game, 2:30. So if you're available to go to Memorial, go. If you're not, watch it on TV. And it's going to be a special game. And it's going to be a chance to get to a regional final. I think for both teams, I think it'll be a chance to get to it'll be Shea Ralph's first regional final, I believe. And it'll be Coach Ivy's first regional final as well. So one of these teams is going to be lucky. The other one, but I expect this game to be a slugfest. I expect this game to be a turnover fest because both these teams do an extremely good job of locking down, playing tight defense, turning the other team over, things like that. The scoring is going to be what it is. It's going to be tough to come by. But I do think you're going to, Hidalgo is going to get hers. Mikayla Blakes is going to get hers. And then the rest of the scoring it's going to be, I feel like with the way these teams play defense, it's going to be kind of, I say kind of erratic because you're not sure exactly where the rest of the points are going to come from. But it's going to be interesting to see kind of how each team adjusts. It's going to be a great chess match. That's probably the best word to describe this game is a chess match. So make sure you tune into that Friday at 2:30. This team's special, man. They've got a nice culture going. They've got a nice foundation. They've got a nice structure to their program. So again, this team is something special. This team is making some noise in women's hoops. They're a team to be taken seriously for sure. They're a 2 seed for a reason, right? And they're on their way up. They're on the rise, and Shea Ralph has done a phenomenal job with this group, and I think it's going to continue on down the road. But before we go, Mark Byington, is he going to go? UNC's open. He's one of the favorites to land the job. What direction are they going to go? Is it going to be Mark Byington? Should he leave? We're going to talk about that next.
I'm Clea Butler, host of Locked On Women's Basketball, and this is Mazda's Women's Basketball Snapshot, celebrating the work no highlight reel can ever capture. All 4 number 1 seeds, UConn, UCLA, Texas, and South Carolina, have completely dominated the opening rounds of the NCAA tournament. UConn rolled with a 98-45 victory over Syracuse behind AZ Fudd, who had a 34-point explosion, while South Carolina has been led by Joyce Edwards coming off a 23-point game. UCLA leaned on Lauren Betts with a 35-point performance in an 87-68 win over Oklahoma State. And Texas advanced comfortably with a 40-point show from Madison Booker. And now we're headed to the Sweet 16. These moments are earned off the clock, those long before the lights ever come on. The sweat, the fakes, the doubt, the scrapes, and coming back for more every time. Mazda puts the same drive into every detail. Wins define the moment. Putting in the work, that defines you. There's more to a Mazda because there's more to you.
What if sports were traded like markets? Now you can put your sports IQ to work in real time with Robinhood prediction markets. It's not you against the house. It's you participating in a live market. You can buy or sell your positions live all game long. Use your sports knowledge in the moments that matter. Robinhood prediction markets changes the game. It's people moving the action, so when the momentum shifts, you can move with it. I always knew the game, but never had a dynamic way to apply that knowledge. Now I can actually take part live in a market powered by people. You're no longer just a spectator. Play-by-play, you decide. Trade every play with Robinhood. Now available across the U.S. Download the Robinhood app now to begin. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives, LLC, a registered futures and commissions merchant and swap firm. Workplace chaos. Deadlines stacking up, inboxes overflowing. That one position you have to fill is still sitting open. And when the pressure's on, you need the right hire. This is a job for Sponsored Jobs. Indeed, Sponsored Jobs helps you reach the people who actually fit what you're looking for: skills, experience, location. So you're not just hoping the right candidate stumbles across your post. And here's the stat that says it all. In the minute that I've been talking to you, companies like yours have made 27 hires on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide. So if you're hiring, spend less time searching and more time interviewing candidates who check all your boxes with Indeed sponsored jobs. So spend less time searching, more time actually interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. Less time, less stress, more results. When you need the right person to cut through the chaos, this is a job for Indeed sponsored jobs. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to help get your job the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/podcast. So just go to Indeed.com/podcast right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed right here on this podcast. Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? This is a job for Indeed sponsored jobs. And here's the fun part, the Everydayer Club. Now you may have missed the NCAA tournament entry on Discord. So you may have missed the chance to beat me in the bracket pool, which this year it seems pretty easy to do. However, you can get your first month of the Everydayer Club for free when you use code MARCH. You'll unlock ad-free episodes and entry into our private listener group chat where I'm hanging out on the daily. So click the link in the show notes or go to lockedonvandy.supercast.com to claim your free month. Again, promo code MARCH gets you that free month. So you better hurry. Time's running out. Thanks for making Locked On Vandy your first listen at Locked On Vandy if you want to follow along at home. Now, we're going to wrap the show up by, I talked about the women's team, Sweet 16, up against the Fighting Irish, tough matchup. Anytime you get into a regional semifinal, it's always going to be a tough matchup. But this team, I think, is on a crash course for UConn. I think they are on a run that I think is going to be, this team seems like they're unstoppable because they can win in different ways. And so that's what's exciting about it. Now, but I do want to switch gears to a gear that I didn't think I was going to have to switch gears to. And it's concerning because there's so much momentum with the men's team that I just hate to see all of that go potentially. Now it could improve, but I'd hate to see all of it go because you look with Vegas and you look at the odds, and coaching searches can go a million different directions. So this is not like a guaranteed thing. He's not actually leaving, but the odds tell you that he's the favorite to be the next Tar Heels head coach. And I don't like that one bit. Why don't I like that one bit? Because I think right now, North Carolina, they're a perennial 6 seed. I mean, they make the tournament every year, but I think Mark Byington is in a position now where I think Vanderbilt could be the very same team that North Carolina is, right? And I think he's got a lot of great momentum here in Nashville with NIL, with business partners, attracting recruits to the city of Nashville. Now, I get it. UNC is a big brand. They're a blue blood. They're Michael Jordan's team, right? He's the greatest of all time. I'll let you guys comment on that one, right? There's a lot of things about North Carolina that is enticing. But for where they are right now and where Mark Byington is right now, I don't know unless they offer him a boatload of money. And I know the coaching world is like that. You move on up the ladder. And I know Vanderbilt right now, they're just kind of a 2-year deal, right? Like they've only really been a tournament team for like the last 2 years. The past decade before that, they were pretty awful. And, I get this is just a step along the way for Mark Byington, but what he's built here is special in such a short amount of time. And I know he could go do the same in North Carolina. Wherever he goes, he could do that. I have no doubts about that. This is not about him and his ability and all that stuff. It's not about him not being a good fit at North Carolina. I just don't want to – I just think he's done such a good job. I hate to see him leave. And I think there's some other candidates there, so I don't know that it's a slam dunk that he's going to get that job. I think Todd Golden is up for it too. So if anyone from UNC is listening, Isaac, if you're listening, if you happen to tune into this, hire Todd Golden. He's good. You want Todd Golden. That's who you want. You want Todd Golden. You want anybody but Mark Byington. Mark Byington is terrible. He's an awful coach. You don't want him. You don't want him. He's washed up. He's bad. You don't want him. Hope that worked. No, in all seriousness, this would be, I don't know where Vanderbilt would turn to. I don't know enough about coaching nationwide in basketball. I'm not sure. Bill Armstrong would be a viable option for McNeese. That would be kind of interesting if he came in to replace Mark Byington. But I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with this. It's just something that I wanted to say. I don't want to happen. I don't want Mark Byington to leave. I know it's inevitable that all coaches leave at some point, but I'm not ready for Mark Byington to skip on out of town. I think there's still stuff left to build. I think this is a conference that I think the SEC is shifting into the basketball conference now. I think there's some things happening within our conference that are really, really good in the sport of basketball. And I think this is going to be a great proving ground for any coach. So the SEC, I think, is becoming one of those destination conferences to where coaches want to go. And Vanderbilt, Mark Byington's turning Vanderbilt. If he stays long enough, he could turn Vanderbilt into a destination job and not a stepping stone. And that transition alone, the fact that I'm having that conversation tells you what kind of job Mark Byington's doing so far. And yeah, he would do that at UNC. He would get them probably back on top. For UNC, it would be a slam dunk. I would hate for that to happen because he's just got so much momentum here at Vanderbilt. So that's my piece on that. Tyler Tanner, if you happen to be tuning in, you need to talk Coach Byington and staying in Nashville for at least until you go, because he's building something here, and it's special. So anyway, we'll obviously keep an eye on that. Mark Byington, he's probably in the candidate pool. They're probably going to contact him. Is probably going to, if they offer him, he's probably going to take it, I would imagine. That sucks. But there's plenty of great coaches out there too, also. So we just have to do a good job of replacing him, I guess. But we're not ready to cross that bridge. He's still employed by Vanderbilt. He hasn't gone anywhere yet. So that bridge may never be crossed. That bridge could be crossed tomorrow. Who knows? We'll see what happens there. But it is interesting to see. And it is a compliment to your program when the bigger programs come after your coaches. Clark Lee decided to stay. Mark Byington maybe decided to stay. Nashville's a great place. I'm just going to throw that out there. Coach Byington. Nashville's a great place. So if you want to come on the show, we can debate it. I'll convince you to stay. Right? There you go. Invitation's open there. All right. Anyway, that's enough of me. But until next time, we'll continue to follow the women throughout the rest of this tournament, hopefully into the Final Four, maybe hoisting a trophy. Who knows? We're good enough to. Just got to do it. Just got to go out and execute. But up next is the Fighting Irish, so make sure you tune into that Friday at 2:30. And also, stay tuned with Mark Byington. And, of course, baseball is happening as football spring practice is rolling along as well. So until next time, anchor down. Peace.